I'm with Kristi Burton, and we're at the American Life League Training and Activism event. It's the week-long, actually, of the things that they've been doing around here. And you've been involved in a lot of pro-life efforts. You've been sort of, like I was saying, you were thrust into the whole thing, and it's there's a lot that needs to happen, but why don't you tell people exactly what it is you did and how this kind of thing can affect what's happening in America with abortion?
Sure, absolutely. Last year in Colorado, I sponsored a Colorado Personhood Amendment, which would have defined every unborn child as a person from the moment of fertilization. Basically, the moment a human being is created, they should be recognized as a person. So we tried that, and we did lose, but we had over 500,000 people in Colorado vote for this. And a great grassroots movement going, people that are excited to try it again in Colorado, also spreading to other states throughout the nation. Basically, in Roe v. Wade, Justice Blackmun said that if the personhood of the unborn could ever be established, then the case for abortion would collapse. So establishing personhood is key to ending abortion in our nation someday.
As far as the personhood goes, someone had talked the other day about that it came from something that was further back in the rulings in the books about the 3/5 person clause. Do you know anything about that?
You know, I don't. I mean, I know a lot of people relate this to the civil rights movement, where the same as a black person, a slave is only considered 3/5 of a person. An unborn child today is not considered a person. They're a human being, kind of, but not a person. So the movements are similar in that respect, but I'm not sure exactly what they'd be referring to.
Well, that was in reference to the personhood and why Blackmun even said personhood. If the person could be established, apparently it had to do with that connection. And it seems logical that a person should have a right to live, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the central, foundational right of a human being. The right to life must come before the other ones, because without life, what do we have? And in addition to that, the Declaration of Independence says that all men are created equal, not just born equal. I think that's a truth we need to emphasize. Our founding fathers did understand that humanity began at the moment of creation, not at the moment of birth.
Now, you said that 500,000 people voted for this. Initially, when you started with the drive, when you first came up with the idea, what did you think? Did you think that it would blossom like it did?
I did not know what to expect. I just believed this was true, it was right, and it's always the right time to do the right thing. So I just thought we should get out there and do it and leave the results up to God and see what happens. And you know, you don't always win the first time, but that doesn't mean you don't keep trying. I think we cannot give up. Our opposition wants us to give up. In their words, they wanted to crush us, so this didn't spread to other states, which should give us even more motivation to go out there and do it again.
You bet. And you did it through door-to-door efforts too, didn't you?
We did a lot of varieties of reaching people, emphasized a lot on the churches, going to huge events throughout the state. We covered about 80% of the counties in Colorado, collecting signatures. And yeah, we went door to door as well, just through the neighborhoods.
How many signatures were required to even get it on the ballot?
76,048, and we turned in over 130,000.
That's impressive, almost twice the number. Did the pro-life groups recognize that? Did a lot of people contact you and they said, wow, look at what this girl's doing there?
Well, you know, we had a difference in support from the pro-life groups. A lot of them, took the position before we got on the ballot of, well, we'll wait and see. They didn't really think it was the right timing to try something like this. Once we got on the ballot, Focus on the Family did decide to support it. The Catholic Conference remained neutral throughout the whole effort. And let's see, Colorado Right to Life supported it. American Life League, of course, was a huge support to us. So, the pro-life movement does have somewhat of different strategies, which is unfortunate because it does create a lot of infighting in the movement. So we'd all unite. When do we see NARAL and Planned Parenthood fighting against each other? You don't really see that. They all unite for a common goal, and I think we really need to do that as well.
Well, that's definitely why we started Pro-Life Unity, and matter of fact, a lot of folks were kind of mad at us for starting Pro-Life Unity, sort of like, how dare you think that you're Pro-Life Unity? And it's like, okay, we're just trying to get people to work together. I don't have all the answers, but I know God does, and so that's the idea behind this, is that let's figure out how we can work together. And have you, through this experience, have you allied with certain people and groups? I mean, you don't have to name names, but do you feel like you've established relationships with people that you can work with and take this to perhaps the next step?
Absolutely. We're definitely continuing to build a coalition of people and groups in Colorado and throughout the nation to advance this issue of personhood, for sure.
So what is the next step?
Well, we need to try it again in Colorado, and there's some other states I believe are going to be interested in trying it in 2010.
I heard. And what can people do to help out? Do you have a website?
We do. It's personhoodcolorado.com. and they can email us from the website, give us a call, or no, email's the best actually now. The campaign's not running, just email us.
Right.
And they can get a bunch of information off there, and if they're interested in trying a Personhood Amendment in their state, we're absolutely willing to share our resources and the information we gathered from this campaign with them.
Great. Well, we'll be glad to support your efforts. That's personhoodcolorado.com, not .org, personhoodcolorado.com. And for those of you folks that want to get involved, I assume they have to be in state. Is it?
Well, yes, or if they're interested in donating, we do try to get commercials going and advertising, so Excellent. You can donate anywhere in the nation.
All right, so donate if you can, get involved. And what would you say? There's folks out there watching, maybe you've never done anything. What do you say to them to get involved?
Well, I would say that it's so important that each individual person takes it upon themselves, takes responsibility to promote life. And I think no matter how risky we may think it is, it's a good idea to push issues like this and to be daring and to stand up and say, I will speak for those who have no voice. And saying that they're a person is the foundational issue. And it's our responsibility to stand up for this, especially young people in our new generation. It's definitely up to us to be a voice for those who don't have one. And let's get out there and do something. Let's show the opposition that they're wrong. That no matter how many times they beat us, we do not care. We are coming back and coming back until we win, which will happen in the end.
Sounds great. Thank you, Kristi.
Thank you.